Reviewing what the different F1 experts have to say about Lewis Hamilton's title challenge at Ferrari is very illuminating. It clearly suggests that he is being graded on a spectrum depending on the assessor's profile, as the results range from one extreme to the other. There are those who think he has a good chance and there are those who mock any such suggestion, but surprisingly some well-known Lewis Hamilton critics have starkly conflicting opinions. So, what does that tell us about the mania surrounding Sir Lewis if even his detractors are split over his chances? But, before going further, we would like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of what happened in Abu Dhabi. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, please repost our tweet. Thank you. For full disclosure, Lewis Hamilton is our favorite to win this year's title, because the Ferrari car which finished the strongest last season was on an upward trajectory, compared to the established challengers Red Bull and McLaren. Given that Liberty Media is the world's most valuable sports empire, and we are not aware that any bookies took any action against what happened in Abu Dhabi, we are very skeptical of their assessment of the 2025 season. That being said, they agree with us that Ferrari are favorite for the constructors, but place McLaren alongside. This was surprising because, as we like to point out, it was only twice in the 22 seasons between 1999 and 2020 that two different drivers won the title without driving for the winning team. These previously rare events were 10 seasons apart, and on both occasions the title went to the lead driver of the second-placed constructor, after the conclusion of the last Grand Prix of the season. However, in the 4 seasons between 2021 and 2024, the same driver has won the title twice, despite not driving for the winning team. In the first occurrence, he was driving for the team that came second, and was awarded the title after an outrageous manipulation by the race steward at the end of the last GP of the season. The second time around, he went one better as he not only won the title driving for the team that came third, he achieved this astonishing feat, with 2 races to go. Now this same driver, driving for the same team under the same regulations that supposedly underscored his team's dominance, is now ranked joint favorite with the driver that holds the worst record ever in F1 history, for the lead driver of the winning constructor. So, the bookies are in effect contemplating a scenario where Verstappen does not only repeat the unique feat of winning the title while driving for the third-place team, but does it back-to-back, thereby extending his record to 3 out of 5 consecutive seasons. No wonder the world was able to lap up Lance Armstrong and Man City. Anybody who thinks Doris has it in her to win a world title is as deluded as anyone who can rate her above Sir Lewis or Charles in equally ranked cars. But there is one thing that we agree with the bookies on, which is that Sir Lewis's transfer out of Mercedes has made him a genuine championship contender. Now we turn our attention to the expert analysts and talking heads, starting with our one and only Martine Brundle of Sky. Martine, the lead praise singer and image launderer for Verstappen, has invoked the ire of others in their cabal, by grudgingly suggesting that Sir Lewis could win the title. It did not matter to her critics that Martine spent most of the interview criticizing and degrading Sir Lewis. In that interview, she questioned the GOAT's speed, suggested he was past his best, lucky to win in Belgium, prone to mistakes, etc., etc. All that mattered was that at the end of it all, she acknowledged that despite all his downgrading, Sir Lewis was still considered a contender. Of course, Martine had made the rod for her own back with how zealously she had been attacking and writing off Sir Lewis in the past. There's no evidence to suggest that the GOAT has lost speed or was past his best. On the contrary, the evidence suggests that the Mercedes was a bad car, and his performance was down against the teammate he had thrashed the previous season, because he was being sabotaged by the team. The fact that he's ranked above the ex-teammate who had destroyed him the previous year, and has more than double his chances of winning the title simply by switching to Ferrari says it all. Putting the Belgium victory down to luck, because his teammate was disqualified, says everything about Martin, F1 and what Sir Lewis had to deal with at Mercedes. Guess it's only unlucky to be caught cheating when trying to beat the GOAT. The F1 media is sympathizing with the team that tried to sabotage his victory by cheating to put his teammate ahead. Marcy was unlucky to be overruled for cheating, Red Bull were unlucky to be exposed for suborning Marcy to cheat, and Verstappen was unlucky to be given a fake title. Critically, Martin's UK colleague Craig Slater, who had hedged his position on the transfer when it was announced last year, appears to have warmed up to the GOAT's title prospects during his coverage of his first outing at Ferrari. It is striking that after leading the effort to gaslight Abu Dhabi and hound Sir Lewis out of F1, Sky are now acknowledging his title credentials. However, Martin and Sky's shifting positions have not gone unnoticed by their compadres. The pro-Verstappen-GP-Today.com were quick to highlight the fact that Martin was in effect contradicting herself by rating Sir Lewis as a title contender. This is a rod that many anti-Lewis talking heads have made for their own backs, given the haste with which they rushed to gaslight the theft of his 8th title back in 2021, and disingenuously conflated the Mercedes' loss of performance with that of the GOAT, as they tried to hound him out of the sport. Martin had not equivocated when she roundly dismissed the suggestion that had Sir Lewis been a McLaren Mercedes driver last season he would have won the title. Well, that being the case, why is she equivocating now? David Coulthard is another prominent anti-Lewis talking head that regularly contradicts himself as he bends over frontwards to sate his appetite for Crashtappen. In one instant, while speaking to a pro-Verstappen channel last October, he named Verstappen as the best of all time in Formula One. Yet 2 months later in December, while speaking to another pro-Verstappen channel, he insisted that Sir Lewis was the greatest of all time and anyone who denied his greatness was deluded. And at the beginning of this year, he described the GOAT as the biggest disappointment of last year, whose departure was a gift for Mercedes and a worry for Ferrari. Now, you make of that what you will. It appears to us that many of those afflicted by LHDS have become so unhinged that they feverishly make sensational comments about the GOAT that are untethered from reality. Those at Sky, being in the front line, have quietly started realigning their positions while their comrades are stubbornly holding their grounds. We shall enjoy watching as they all squirm, toss and turn as the season unfolds. How long will it take before they start crying that Sir Lewis was just lucky to be in a winning Ferrari? Forza Ferrari.